In this video, I will share why depending on a single forging vendor is a risk you can no longer afford, and how to build a multi-source strategy without doubling your cost or your workload. The phone call came on a Saturday evening. Naveen, a sourcing head at an industrial machinery manufacturer, was at a family function when his vendor's owner called him personally. A fire had broken out in the vendor's press shop that afternoon. Nobody was hurt, but the main press, the one that ran all four of Naveen's components, would be down for at least 3 months. Naveen stood in the wedding hall parking lot doing arithmetic. Current stock, 5 weeks, time to develop the components at a new vendor from 0 to 14 to 16 weeks if everything went perfectly. The gap between those numbers was his production line stopped. He told me later, Rahul, in that parking lot, I realized something. I did not have a supply chain. I had a single thread and it had just snapped. Hello, I am Rahul Agarwal, Managing Director at Prestech Forgings and Engineering Private, and I help procurement team source forgings without costly mistakes. Let me be honest about why single sourcing is so common. The reasons are not foolish. A single vendor is simpler. One relationship to manage, one quality system to audit, one set of tooling to pay for. Volumes are consolidated, so the price is better. The vendor values you more because you give them everything. For years, the arrangement works, and every year it works. The risk feels smaller. But the risk is not small, it is just silent. A fire, a flood, a press breakdown. A financial crisis. Many forging vendors are small businesses. One bad year, they are from trouble. A labor dispute, an ownership change, a capacity squeeze where a bigger customer observes everything. None are predictable. All have the same effect. Your supply stops and recovery is measured in months because forging is a tooled process. You cannot move a forging overnight. The die sits at the vendor. The process knowledge sits at the vendor. The approvals took months. Starting again from zero is a development project, not a phone call. That is the core problem. In forging, the switching time is so long that by the time you discover you need a second source, it is too late to create one. And here is the trap on the other side. Buyers who hear this advice often respond by splitting every component 50-50 between two vendors. That doubles the tooling cost, halves the volume leverage with both vendors, and doubles the quality management work. Full dual sourcing of everything is usually too expensive to sustain, which is why most companies abandon it and drift back to single sourcing. The answer is not duplicating everything. The answer is a structured strategy that protects what matters at a cost you can sustain. So, how do you build a multi-source forging strategy that genuinely reduces risk without doubling your cost? 4 steps to it. Step 1. Classify your components by risk, not by value. Take your forged component list and ask one question per part. If supplied stop today, how long before my line stops? Component with no alternative source, long development time, and direct line impact are your critical class. Most buyers are surprised to find only 20 to 30% of their components are truly critical. That is where the strategy focuses. Classification by impact, not by spend. Step 2. For critical components, qualify a second source before you need it. This is the heart of the strategy. Develop tooling and complete sample approval at a second vendor, even if you place no regular volume with them. The tooling investment is real, but compare it honestly against 1 month of a stopped production. Once qualified, keep the second source warm with a small periodic order, 2 or 3 lots per year. A vendor who has not run your part in 3 years is not a backup. They are just a hope. Step 3. Split volumes intelligently, not equally. For your most critical parts, a practical split is 70-30. The primary vendor keeps enough volume to stay committed and price competitive. The secondary vendor runs enough to keep their process alive, their die maintained, and their operators familiar. 70-30 costs far less than 50-50 and delivers most of the protection because in a crisis, the secondary vendor scales up from the running process, not from a cold start. Step 4. Make tooling portability part of every new development. From today onwards, write it in your purchase terms. The die design data, process parameters, and inspection standards for your components are shared with you, the buyer, as deliverables of the development. You paid for the development. The knowledge should not be logged inside one vendor's tool. With documentation in hand, qualifying an emergency source in crisis becomes weeks faster. Naveen survived his fire barely. Premium freight, emergency machining of semi-finished stock, and a sympathetic customer got him through. But he rebuilt his sourcing on exactly these 4 steps. Today, his 5 critical components each have a qualified second source running 30% of volume. When I asked him about the extra cost, his answer was simple. Rahul, I now pay a small premium every month for something I used to get free. The ability to sleep on Saturdays. Insurance is always cheaper before the fire. If you want help classifying your forged components by supply risk, the simple one-page matrix Naveen used, I will send it to you if you comment in the comment box below, and I will share it with you directly. And if every forged component in your plant currently comes from a single vendor, share this video with your leadership team. Best time to build a second source was 2 years ago. The second best time is before your phone rings on a Saturday evening. Thank you and see you in my next video.